Welcome to the deep dive. So today, forget the usual stuff, the 10 ways to get more leads. We're going deeper.
Much deeper.
Yeah, we're looking at something more fundamental, like the messy insides of a growing business.
The operational guts, basically.
Exactly. We're doing a real deep dive into the philosophy of Andrew Lee Jenkins. He's a consultant based out in Virginia.
Right.
And his whole argument is that, well, the way we think about digital growth, it's kind of upside down.
It really is a provocative idea, and you look at his background, it's not your typical marketing guru story.
No.
The sources, they really emphasize this point.
Mm-hmm.
Most people, most founders, they're chasing the external stuff. Ads, traffic, more leads.
Like the vanity metric sometimes?
Totally.
Yeah.
But Jenkins, with his background, like over a decade in engineering design consulting, we're talking Fortune 500 companies here.
High-stakes stuff?
Yeah. He just cuts through all that noise.
Yeah.
And he has this one sharp observation. He says, leads weren't the problem. Broken systems were.
Wow. Okay, that flips the script immediately, doesn't it? It
Yeah.
makes you, the listener, kind of look inward at your own operation.
Mm-hmm.
And his personal story, too. It adds another layer, this focus, this obsession almost with patterns and effective processes. It starts to make a lot of sense.
It does. I mean, this is someone who spent serious time analyzing really complex systems, both human and, mechanical.
Right.
The sources mention this formative experience, escaping a cult, which sounds intense.
Scary.
But he explicitly connects that to business, like learning firsthand about persuasion, about patterns, about chaos, and how systems, good or bad, shape behavior.
So he's applying that understanding now to help businesses break their own sort of destructive organizational patterns.
Precisely. And it feeds directly into his whole vibe,
Yeah.
this anti-guru, super transparent approach.
Okay, so let's take that core idea that operational chaos is the real growth killer, and let's unpack his solution. His method, you mentioned he calls it unfucking the business foundation.
Yeah, it's blunt, but clear.
It is. So what's the big message there? Because, for a small business owner listening, the default is always just work harder, push more.
Right, the hustle culture trap.
Yeah.
His central idea is the direct opposite of that. It's growth doesn't come from working harder. It comes from building smarter systems.
Smarter systems.
Yeah, the goal isn't just like more money in the bank. It's about building a business that's resilient. Something that, as he puts it, runs smoother, scales faster, and doesn't fall apart when you step away.
Okay, that's the dream, right? Building something that doesn't need you personally holding it together 24/7.
Exactly. It's about engineering a machine that produces consistent results, almost automatically, without the owner having to be involved in every little thing.
All right, sounds fantastic. But for someone listening thinking, okay, how do I actually do that?
Yeah.
Where does his process start? If you're doing his 1.1 consulting, what's the roadmap?
So it's a strategic overhaul, really. And it centers around 6 key components. These are like the building blocks.
Okay, let's dig into these. What's number 1?
It starts with brand and position. And this sounds basic, but most businesses just skim over it. They think they know who they are.
Yeah, we sell X to Y. Done.
Right. But his method forces you to get super clear on your unique value proposition, like really unique. The source material says if you can't clearly state how you're fundamentally different from your top competitors,
Then you just blend in.
you blend into what he calls the sameness. And if you're the same, you're only competing on price. And that's a tough game to win long term.
Definitely a race to the bottom.
Oh.
Okay, so nail the brand and position first. Then what?
Then it's market insights. And I like this part. It stresses using data, actual data, not just hunches or wishful thinking.
Yeah, we've all seen businesses built on what the owner wished customers wanted, right?
Right.
Doesn't usually end well.
Exactly. So how do they use data? They look for the gaps. Like, where are competitors dropping the ball? What are customers really complaining about? Maybe after the sale.
Okay. So not just broad market trends, but specific pain points.
Right. Micro-level intelligence. You use that to design a service or product that actually solves an unmet need.
Yeah.
And that insight then informs everything else.
Makes sense. Okay, so we know who we are, we know the market gaps. Now we get into the customer side with Map the Journey. This feels like where a lot of businesses stumble.
Oh, absolutely. This is where the leaks happen. You spend all this money getting leads.
Pouring water into the bucket.
Exactly, into a leaky bucket. Leads ghost you, follow-up is slow, the sales process feels clunky or confusing. All that marketing spend just drains away.
So mapping the journey is about plugging those leaks.
Precisely. Fixing every single touch point. From the moment someone finds you online to when they get the final bill. Make it smooth, easy, low friction. The aim is turning those strangers into, well, predictable, loyal fans.
Okay, smooth journey, happy customers. What comes after that? We need the engine room, right?
Right. That's systemized chaos. And let's be honest, for a lot of small businesses, chaos is the system.
Guilty as charged sometimes. Relying on memory, flagged emails, maybe a few sticky notes.
And that is the absolute killer of scale. You can't grow like that. So systemizing chaos means building out standard operating procedures, SOPs.
SOPs, everyone talks about them, but what does that really mean in this context?
It's not just writing a dusty manual nobody reads. It's the living roadmap for how repetitive tasks get done. Who does what? What's the expected outcome? What are the steps?
Documenting the how.
Yes. And when you formalize that, you empower your team. They know how to handle, say, 95% of situations without constantly asking you. It frees the owner up from micromanaging.
Which then makes the next step, add automations, actually useful. Because automating chaos just makes things worse, faster.
Nailed it. If the system is defined, then automation becomes this incredible lever.
So what kind of automations are we talking about?
They focus on consistent, and this is key, human-sounding nurture flows. Things like follow-ups, appointment reminders, onboarding emails, stuff that needs to happen every time.
But doesn't necessarily need your personal time for every single one.
Exactly. It boosts consistency. Every client gets that same quality experience, but reduces the busy work for the team. Win-win.
Okay, so we've got brand, market, journey, SOPs, automation. What's the final piece?
The last one is simplify to scale. This one really hits service providers hard, I think. That pressure to customize every single thing for every client.
Oh, yeah, the bespoke trap.
It is a trap because customization, while it feels like great service, is the enemy of scalable profit. The sources are really critical of custom quoting everything. He calls that scaling chaos.
Because every sale is different. Every delivery is different.
Right. Different scope, unique price, custom work. It's impossible to streamline. So the final step is taking those services and packaging them. Clear, defined, tiered packages.
Easier to sell, easier to deliver, predictable.
That's the goal. Predictable scaling, protected profit margins.
Okay, that 6-step framework. It really lays out a path towards building a more resilient business. But let's get practical. What are the actual tools or services they offer to help businesses, especially their main audience, implement this?
Right, so that's where we transition from the core philosophy to the specific done-for-you services.
Yeah.
And yeah, their main focus tends to be local service businesses. Think HVAC companies, contractors, landscapers.
The home service industry.
Primarily, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially around their home base in Virginia. The agency name, Catalyst RVA, that RVA signifies the Richmond, Virginia area.
Got it. So for these local contractors, they've got a local lead generation service marketed under Catalyst RVA. And they promise spine-chilling ROI. Strong words.
Very strong.
How do they approach lead gen? What's this omni-channel approach?
Omnichannel just means being everywhere your potential customer might be looking online. It's not just, throwing up a Facebook ad and hoping for the best.
More comprehensive.
Much more. It includes optimizing for those AI overviews in search results because people are getting answers directly now. Then there's organic search, targeted PPC ads, and something really critical for a local. The Google Map Pack.
Okay, let's pause there. The Google Map Pack. Why is that so vital for, say, an HVAC company or a plumber?
Because think about it. Your AC breaks down. What do you search? AC repair near me, right?
Instantly, yeah.
And that map pack, that little box with 3 local businesses, that's prime real estate. That's high intent, ready to buy traffic. Getting ranked high there, that's gold.
And getting ranked high isn't just luck, is it?
Not at all. It relies on having really consistent, accurate business info online, managing reviews well. It often needs a dedicated GBP specialist. That's Google Business Profile. And they actually have one on their team.
Ah, okay. So the team structure reflects this focus. You mentioned Andrew Jenkins as founder, then Stephen Canestrino as the GBP guy.
Right. And Daniel DeSanayaki for content, Jonathan Morgan handling the paid ads. It's a focused team.
Now, back to that anti-guru stance. They're selling premium packages starting around $1,399. How do they square that premium price with being, anti-hype?
It seems to come down to 2 things. Transparency in what they deliver and flexibility in the terms. First, the promise is delivery based on a system, not just smoke and mirrors. Second, flexibility. The sources clearly state no long-term contracts. And after the initial setup phase, clients can actually downgrade to just a basic hosting package if they want.
Ah, so no 12-month lock-in.
Exactly. That's a direct shot at the typical agency model that tries to trap clients.
Ugh.
That flexibility, that's part of their no-fluff promise.
That definitely stands out. Okay, so LayGen is one piece, but they also tackle the broken systems problem head-on with custom software solutions. This feels like the ultimate expression of the philosophy.
It absolutely is, because they saw the problem. Even if they generate amazing leads for a client, what happens if the client's internal process is just chaos?
Yeah.
Spreadsheets everywhere, missed follow-ups.
The spreadsheet hell, as they call it.
Yeah, leads fall through the cracks. So they started building custom CRM systems, custom field service management systems, tailored software.
Now, here's a detail I found really interesting for listeners who are into the tech side. The sources explicitly say these systems are built on a white label framework called High Level. Why use something like High Level instead of building totally from scratch?
It's all about efficiency and speed. High Level is basically a pre-built, really robust platform for CRM and marketing automation. It's got tons of features already baked in.
So they're not reinventing the wheel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By using a white label version, they can take that solid foundation and customize it for the client's specific needs. Way faster, way more cost-effective, and probably fewer bugs than building an entire complex system from ground zero.
Okay, so the promise is basically ditching the 15 different software subscriptions most businesses juggle, scheduler here, email there, reporting somewhere else.
Right. Get rid of all that complexity. Have one single platform designed around your actual workflow.
And what type of features are we talking about in these custom builds?
The essentials for service businesses, mostly. Things like scheduling tools, GPS dispatch for tracking text in the field, mobile apps for the team, two-way SMS for quick customer communication.
That seems huge for coordination.
Huge. Plus things like voice AI for handling basic calls or queries, really solid polling dashboards, and deep marketing automations built right in. It brings the whole operation onto one screen. Custom build starting around $4,999, according to the sources.
Okay, that's a pretty comprehensive solution for systemizing things. We've covered the constructive side. Now let's switch gears a bit. Let's talk about the brand's critical take on the market. It definitely informs their transparent style. They seem pretty fired up about the state of digital marketing.
Oh, they are, yeah. There's this article mentioned in the sources. Title is "The Internet is a Dumpster Fire and ChatGPT is the Gasoline."
Doesn't mince words, is it?
Not at all. It pulls no punches. And they define this villain, this archetype, they call the digital busta.
The digital bust. Okay, who's that?
It's their term for the kind of person, often aided by AI tools now, who sells the illusion of success. They use generative AI to make themselves look way more knowledgeable or successful than they actually are.
Ah, okay. And this connects back to what you said earlier about Jenkins's background, right? Using that understanding of persuasion and patterns, but this time to call out misinformation.
Exactly. It's like pattern recognition for BS, basically.
So what are the specific red flags they warn about? Things that we as listeners trying to sort through all the online noise should watch out for.
They give a pretty clear checklist. First big warning sign: people using raw ChatGPT screenshots as definitive proof, especially if it's spitting out stats or claims with no actual source.
Right. Treating AI output as gospel truth.
Yeah. Selling generative text as hard evidence. That's flag number one.
Okay, what's next?
Flag number two is something we probably all see constantly. Every single piece of content, no matter how inspiring or insightful it seems, pivots immediately into a hard sell.
Oh, yeah. Here's the profound life lesson I learned. And you can too. Click the link in my bio for my $997 course on how to learn lessons.
Exactly that. It just instantly cheapens everything. Makes the initial content feel like bait.
Totally. Okay, flag number 3.
This one they call flexing without receipts. It's making these big, vague claims about success, massive growth, huge results, but offering zero specific proof. No client names, no real data, just maybe some flashy graphics or emojis.
All sizzle, no steak.
Pretty much. If the results are real, show the receipts. Specifics matter.
That's the point. And the 4th red flag.
This one's critical. People teaching subjects they have absolutely no real-world experience in. They warn against coaches or mentors who basically just read a few popular articles or Twitter threads on a topic.
And then suddenly they're launching a high-ticket program teaching it.
Exactly. Taking advice from someone who's never actually done the thing they're teaching, that's a huge red flag.
So this whole critique, it's really a call for more responsible AI use, isn't it? They're not saying AI is bad.
No, not at all. They're clear about that. They emphasize using AI as a tool. Use it to help you communicate better, faster, maybe brainstorm ideas.
But don't use it as a mask.
Right. Don't use it to pretend you have expertise you don't, or as they put it, to catfish your audience into thinking you're something you're not. Use it to enhance your real skills, not fake them.
And to walk the walk on transparency, they offer their own content resources, right? Like the Growth Unfiltered podcast.
Yeah, where Jenkins apparently shares the real nitty-gritty of building the agency, the ups, the downs, including hitting that $40K a month recurring revenue mark. Sharing the messy middle, not just the highlight reel.
And there's also a DIY option, the Blueprint.
Right, a training community. It sounds like it's full of step-by-step SOPs for people who want to implement these systemization ideas themselves.
Yeah.
Maybe without the full 1.1 consulting cost.
Okay, so we've covered the philosophy, the systems, the tools, the critique. Let's try to tie it all together for the listener. What's the main takeaway here?
I think the central idea, the thread connecting everything, is that real, sustainable scaling. It doesn't start with chasing more leads or getting more hype online. It doesn't matter if you're local services, e-com, info products.
Where does it start then?
It starts internally. First, get crystal clear on your message, your unique position, so you actually stand out. That's step one.
Clarity first.
Clarity first. And then step two, the big one, according to these sources. Perfect your internal processes. Fix that leaky customer journey. And most importantly, document how things actually get done. Build those SOPs.
So basically, get your house in order before you try to invite thousands of guests over.
That's a great way to put it. You need that solid foundation, those clear, simple, repeatable processes. That's what gives you stability.
It saves time, cuts down stress.
And it ensures that when you do grow, the whole thing doesn't just collapse because the owner is the bottleneck for every single decision. It lets you delegate, trust your team, and actually scale without burning out or breaking the business.
Which leads us perfectly into that final provocative thought for you, the listener, to chew on.
Right. If we accept that chaotic systems are the enemy of growth,
And the evidence seems pretty strong.
yeah, then ask yourself this. What's the single, simplest, most fundamental process in your own work, or maybe even your personal learning, that right now relies entirely on your memory? Or maybe a few scattered sticky notes.
That one thing you do over and over, but it's not written down anywhere.
Exactly. That undocumented habit, that repeatable action, that's your real low-hanging fruit for improvement. Systemize that one thing today. Document it. That's the first step to unfucking your own operational chaos.